Welcome to the First Unitarian Fellowship of Nanaimo. My name is Catherine, and I'm your service leader this morning. Whatever your ethnicity, theological belief, gender, sexual orientation, age, and everything else that makes you who you are, please know that you are warmly welcomed in our community. If this is your first time with us, a very special welcome to you. If you are joining us online, please consider sharing your contact information with us. We'd love to welcome you to our community. We have a wonderful website, ufon.ca, which is ufon.ca, and invite you to check it out for more detailed information about who we are, the services we offer, and how you can connect with us. We acknowledge today that we meet on the traditional territory of the Snuneymuxw First Nation. As Unitarians, we are committed to the work of reconciliation required to address the harm done to all Indigenous peoples and their cultures by non-Indigenous peoples. We have much to learn from the Indigenous perspective, that the earth is a source of life, all life, and that our responsibility is to honor and care for it. And this morning we have a number of announcements. First of all, thank you to Bev for the lovely flowers which are on the screen, Bev Locke. Did you know that the fellowship is a fragrance-free zone? Some people have severe adverse reactions to scented items, including laundry fragrances, lotions, shampoos, and colognes. As we all contribute to the fellowship's welcoming environment, we ask that each of us be respectful of others' sensitivities, including scents. Everyone is invited to join the National Unitarian Universalist community as we share a weekend online exploring the topic Living into Covenant. The CUC Fall Gathering, Living into Covenant, is online this year from November 18th to the 20th. At this gathering, we will do some deep reflection on the value of covenantal relationships and important elements that are part of the commitment of being a Unitarian in community. For more information and registration, look at the weekly update. The deadline to register is this coming Thursday, November 17th. The Advanced Care Planning Part 3 workshop for those who took at least Part 1 is coming up next Saturday. This is an opportunity to complete your advanced care planning documents. It is at 1 p.m. here in the hall. The Port Theatre has reached out to us to offer free tickets for their Fall Connections evening of local talent. The Symphony, Crimson Dance, and Theater 1 will offer the entertainment for the fundraiser. It is this coming Wednesday at 7:30 p.m. If you are wanting a ticket, contact Lise in the office today. The Nanaimo Green Faith Circle invites you to help replant 100 trees that were lost on Saturday, November 19th at 10:30 a.m. The planting location is just north of the playground at Beaven Park. We especially welcome people who donated or planted the original trees. Please dress for the weather and bring work gloves. For more info, contact Nanaimo Green Faith, that's one word, at gmail.com. And since I can hear someone's phone ringing, I want to remind all of you to please silence your phones or turn them off, whatever you're comfortable with. To find out about all special events, groups, and meetings taking place in the fellowship, either go to the calendar on our website or read the weekly update email sent to you on Thursdays. Let us now enter into sacred time. Patrick, our music director, will lead us into worship through music.
Good morning, everyone. To start us off today, here's a little piano rendition of What a Wonderful World.
Thank you, Patrick. That was wonderful. Today, we are hearing about gratitude and climate action. I'm reminded of the cartoon quote, "Aren't you worried about what the future will bring?" I think it will bring flowers. Why? Because I'm planting flower seeds. Last night at our public panel on surviving and thriving as a climate activist, many of you got to experience the joy and grace that comes to people who have been climate activists for many years. And by the way, that was recorded. So if you didn't see it, you can still see it. It was really awesome. We are grateful for all those who helped to make this event happen, especially Catherine Jane Hazel, who toiled endlessly once again. Where is she? Yay. Our news feeds are filled with many climate problems, often co-joined with why such and such solutions won't work. It is no wonder you might feel helpless to take action against onslaught of CO2 emissions that surround us, and that is no accident. Many antagonists are working behind the scenes to perpetuate the status quo. But there is great hope. In a book by Chris Turner, How to Be a Climate Optimist, he expounds about the many solutions that have already been implemented in various parts of the world. We have the technical solutions, we just need the political will, which we can influence. It is easy enough to despair about the climate, but the crisis is not a phenomenon that is either here or not here. We are already in its midst, and each action, each step, each kilogram of carbon dioxide that remains sequestered brings us closer to a solution. Be grateful for all that we have and for all that we are doing, such that our seeds may in fact become flowers. Finally, Kumi Naidu says, the pessimism of our analysis can be overcome by the optimism of our actions. Today's speaker will be Karl Perrin, a Unitarian from Vancouver, he's sitting over there, and a longtime climate activist. Karl also spoke on the panel last night. Tony, I feel like my voice is going in and out. Is it me? Okay, sorry. This is only the second time I've done this. Is this good? This, okay. Oh, I'm too close. Is that good? Better? Okay, sorry. In 1993, Karl decided to fight climate change until 2030, when he will turn to his son and say, I did my best. Chalice lighting. If ever there was a time for a candle in the darkness, this would be it. Using a spark of hope, kindle the flame of love, ignite the light of peace, and feed the flame of justice. That happened to me last time. Did you do it? Yep. I think that's symbolic. Never give up, right?
All right. So for our first song today, we're going to do one we did a few weeks ago, and we're just so excited about it, we're going to sing it again. And when I say we, I mean your very own choir, the Fabulous Foophonics. And yes, you heard that right, the Fabulous Foophonics, if you're not familiar with our name. And we've even got a whole choreography worked out. So just you wait and see. This is a song called "Humbly" by Lawrence Cole. And you know what? I'll take a very quick moment to tell you all of the different lyrics, because it's one of those beautiful songs with multiple parts going at once. Humbly we walk here, humbly we sing here, humbly we bless this ground is what you'll hear first. Humbly and with gratitude, remembering the ancient ones who walked this ground. And finally, humbly we walk this ground with the spirit of blessing in our hearts. All right. Bass is your first up. Here we go. Humbly we walk here, humbly we sing here, humbly we bless this ground. Humbly we walk here, humbly we sing here, humbly we bless this rock, this ground. Humbly
So I'd like to thank the hosts that I had this weekend, Francis and Ron and Brian and Glenda. I've had a wonderful weekend. It's like a vacation. So I'll be back, I'm sure. I'm going to do a guided meditation with you, and then that's followed by 1 minute of silence. This is from Coming Back to Life, a book by Joanna Macy and Molly Young Brown. So relax and close your eyes. Open your awareness to the fellow beings who share with you this planet time, in this town, in this country, and in other lands. In your mind's eye, behold their multitudes. Now let your awareness open wider yet to encompass all beings who ever lived, of all races and creeds and walks of life, rich, poor, kings and beggars, saints and sinners. See the vast vistas of these fellow beings stretching into the distance like successive mountain ranges. Now consider the fact that in each of these innumerable lives, some act of merit was performed. No matter how stunted or deprived the life, there was a gesture of generosity, a gift of love, an act of valor or self-sacrifice. On the battlefield, or in the workplace, hospital, or home. From these beings in their endless multitudes arose actions of courage, kindness, of teaching and healing. Let yourself see these manifold and immeasurable acts of merit. Now imagine you can sweep together these acts of merit. Sweep them into a pile in front of you. Use your hands. Pile them up. Pile them into a heap, viewing it with gladness and gratitude. Now pat them into a ball. It is the great ball of merit. Hold it now and weigh it in your hands. Rejoice in it knowing that no act of goodness is ever lost. It remains ever and always a present resource, a means for the transformation of life. So now, with jubilation and gratitude, you turn that great ball. Turn it over, into the healing of our world.
Please join me in singing "For the Earth Forever Turning." I'll play through the melody all the way through, and then please rise as you're willing and able.
I love that song. So during this time of rain and remembrance, as we hunker down with wings clipped but roots thriving, listen to what Marcel Proust wrote about discovery. The real voyage of discovery consists not in seeking new landscapes, but in having new eyes. I believe that my daily practice of writing gratitudes has given me new eyes. I believe that a daily practice of writing gratitudes can give anyone new eyes. With a daily practice of written gratitude, we sharpen our awareness of the kindness of others, and that makes us happier. That makes us kinder, and we generate a virtuous circle of cooperation. Gratitude creates connection, community, and knowing that we do not walk alone, and that opens us up to courage. Today, I hope to strengthen our gratitude muscle. From the research of psychologist Robert Emmons and from environmental activist, Buddhist, and author Joanna Macy. When we open our eyes to the loving kindness of others, we feel grateful and want to pass it on. Gratitude takes us to deeper levels of love. In 1993, I heard Joanna Macy cry, and I went to jail in Clayoquot Sound. In 1993, I heard Severn Suzuki scold us grown-ups, and I was so ashamed. In 1993, I read Al Gore's book, Earth in the Balance, and I got lost emotionally. Al Gore called our society dysfunctional in the face of threats like runaway climate change. In 1993, the message was clear. If we continued with business as usual, civilization would collapse by 2050. In 2050, our son Ben will be 66. I made a vow to him that I would do everything in my power to prevent such a collapse. Then in 2030, when I am 85, I will stand before him and say, I did my best. So with that vow, I made my way home emotionally. And then I asked myself, how could I be effective and not burn out? I decided to join the Environment Committee of the Unitarian Church of Vancouver, where I could balance cold science with the warmth of community, art, and spirit. I learned about gratitude by practicing Joanna Macy's work that reconnects as a committed environmental activist. In this work, there are 4 stages. 1, gratitude. 2, honoring our pain for the world. 3, seeing with new eyes. And 4, going forth into action. And that cycle repeats. Gratitude is the first stage. Because gratitude is empathic, it creates what Thich Nhat Hanh calls interbeing. Interbeing helps us see our individual joys and sorrows in the context of community joys and sorrows and community resources. The second stage is honoring our pain for the world. Honoring our pain recognizes the value of facing up to our predicament. If there's no fear, there's no courage. If there's no courage, there's no leaving our comfort zone, no leaving our fossil-fueled business as usual comfort zone. It takes courage to live simply so that others may simply live, as Gandhi wrote. The third stage is seeing with new eyes. Macy writes, in the third stage, we step further into the perceptual shift that recognizes our pain for the world as a healthy expression of our belonging to life. Seeing with new eyes reveals the wider web of resources available to us through our rootedness within a deeper ecological self. This third stage, seeing with new eyes, opens us to a new view of what is possible and a new understanding of our power to make a difference. The fourth and final station, going forth, involves clarifying our vision of how we can act for the healing of our world, identifying practical steps that move our vision forward, unquote. And then we return to gratitude and the cycle repeats, but at a deeper level. So the grieving that you feel in honoring our pain for the world, that's part of that natural cycle that helps us. In fact, as I will show, a daily practice of written gratitude makes us so happy and healthy, so grateful that we want to heal what can be healed. We want to serve and express our gratitude through well-grounded generosity. Joanna Macy and the threat of nuclear war. Macy quotes Franz Kafka, "You can hold yourself back from the sufferings of the world. That is something you are free to do, and it accords with your nature. But perhaps this very holding back is the one suffering you could avoid." In other words, truth may be beautiful, but it often isn't pretty. Joanna Macy's first book was called Despair and Personal Power in the Nuclear Age, written before the end of the Cold War, when many of us despaired of humanity surviving a nuclear war or a nuclear winter. Do you remember those days? Fear was rampant. As she worked with burned-out anti-nuclear activists, Macy did not deny that fear. She showed how fear is the starting point for courage, and practicing gratitude provides ballast as we venture into the stormy seas of nonviolent direct action, such as the 19-year-long women's peace camp at Greenham Common in the UK. Let us thank those women who camped in the winter rain to stop a nuclear holocaust. Let us thank the peace marchers, the international physicians for the prevention of nuclear war, Greenpeace, the millions of heroes in the battle for sanity. In those days, in the 80s, I never dared to hope that the Cold War or the arms race would ever end. Then, out of the blue, the Soviet Union collapsed. So now I know what we don't know. We don't know the future. Sure, there will be unforeseen bad things like pandemics, but there will be unforeseen good things too, like the unforeseen end of people smoking everywhere. Just as smoking disappeared, so maybe frivolous flying will disappear. Maybe frivolous flying will seem as gross as smoking in a restaurant. It only takes one Greta Thunberg to get the snowball rolling. So let our gratitude for past miracles give us hope for future miracles and the courage to create miracles, step by tiny step. Climate change. So somehow in the 90s, we avoided nuclear annihilation and lung cancer. We didn't think we could, but we did. In our time, we have the slow motion train wreck known as climate change or global warming. Just like the nuclear arms race, the industrial growth society is insane. And yet we are embedded in it tooth and claw. Digging up the tar sands, steaming out the sand and clay, mixing it with condensate and pushing it over the Rockies to our coast is insane. I was born into this madness in Detroit, now in ruins. And now here we are on the edge of the Pacific, fighting pipelines, coal ports, fracking, fighting to preserve Burns Bog and the Fraser River Delta, where 5 million birds rest on their annual migration, where millions of salmon come home. I would give up were it not for gratitude. I am so grateful to SFU Professor Tim Tuccaro, MD, who sat up on a tree in 2019 for 11 days and nights on the banks of the Brunette River, trying to delay the deadly Trans Mountain pipeline. Others joined him and got the local tree cutting shut down for 5 months under the International Migratory Bird Treaty. Who would have guessed? And right now, they're up in the trees again, trying to stop Trans Mountain construction from destroying a restored salmon creek on Burnaby Mountain, where I live, Stony Creek. You have to be emotionally strong to do this work. I believe the daily practice of gratitude gives me that strength. So let's explore gratitude. Robert Emmons, psychologist at the University of California, has spent his career researching gratitude. Emmons encourages us to see what we are grateful for as gifts. The practice of gratitude simply helps us to see them with new eyes and accept them as gifts. One of Robert Emmons' practical gratitude books is called Thanks: How Practicing Gratitude Can Make You Happier. Whether you want to practice gratitude to turn despair into empowerment, to be sane in an insane world, or as Emmons suggests, just to be happier. This book has solid recommendations based on top quality research. As Einstein said, science without religion is lame. Religion without science is blind. What is gratitude? Why get serious about it? And what is the most efficient and effective way to practice gratitude? Beth reviews positive psychology books for Amazon.ca. Beth gives this Thanks book by Robert Emmons 5 out of 5 stars. She says, there are 3 things that determine your happiness: circumstances, genetics, and intentional activities. Cultivating gratitude is an intentional activity, one you can practice that has been shown to increase happiness levels. But does it really work? Quote, in a word, yes. And I can say this with certainty because the author and others have conducted randomized controlled trials that have proven that cultivating gratitude can not only make one happier, but healthier as well. Here is a simple book that convincingly showed me that something as small and easy to do as being thankful not only has the potential to change a person, but perhaps the rest of the world too. Thanks for a great book. One common misunderstanding, which Beth repeats in her review, is that something as small and easy to do as being thankful, etc. Emmons is actually quite clear that the practice of gratitude as a daily practice of expressing gratitude either in a journal or directly to the person, divine presence, or Gaia to whom one is grateful is neither small nor easy. In defining his gratitude, Emmons says, first, gratitude is the acknowledgement of goodness in one's life. Second, gratitude is recognizing that the source of this goodness lies at least partially outside the self. The object of gratitude is other-directed. One can be grateful to other people, to God, to animals, but never to oneself. Gratitude implies humility, a recognition that we could not be who we are or where we are in life without the contribution of others. Unquote. Gratitude implies humility. Humility is rarely a Unitarian strength. Perhaps centuries of nonconformity have made us a bit defensive. We often believe we are smarter, more honest, more courageous, or more ethical than others. Maybe we are. Maybe we can be. But without gratitude, this self-congratulatory smugness cripples us. Gratitude, according to Emmons, requires recognizing our indebtedness to others. That's not a comfortable feeling. We really are indebted to others for peace, for our comfortable lives, for our longevity, our food, for our hot running water, for everything. Without others, our lives would be impossible. We take so much for granted, but the practice of gratitude helps us perceive the innumerable gifts coming our way, gifts which we gladly and humbly accept. Humility is a good thing. We are blessed when we perceive that our cup runneth over, we want to give and we want to serve. When grounded in gratitude, we trust that feelings will come and go like cycles of dark and light. We stop pushing against suffering, we relax, and we become useful. Emmons says, gratitude requires that we affirm our dependency on others. So it's a hit to our ego that we are not so independent after all. But gratitude strengthens our interdependent selves. We exist more, not less, when we let go and accept that we are only a part of the interdependent web of all existence. True humility allows us to see that planetary survival is not only on our shoulders, not only up to us geniuses. All species have a survival instinct, and they are teaching us, inspiring us. Remember the orca, the southern resident orca mother, Clayoquot, mourning her calf for 17 days. By the way, when you keep a gratitude journal, you have to write down your gratitudes. Dictating into your cell phone doesn't work. I tried it. I think I could think gratitude, but it didn't sink into my heart. You've got to feel gratitude, not just think it. And then it becomes your mind's default instead of just worrying all the time. Now I'm walking around and the gratitude just pops up, just pops up, just pops up. Before I close, I want you to know that there are many ways to write gratitude. For example, in Robert Emmons' book, Gratitude Works, a 21-day program for creating emotional prosperity, he offers 7 gratitude exercises. My favorite is the gratitude letter, writing to someone I'm grateful to, a former teacher, a mentor, a friend, and telling them why. Isn't that something we never quite get around to actually doing? I'm writing those letters, and believe me, it has a lasting impact. I can feel the dopamine surging in my brain. I will close with this quote from Thanks by Robert Emmons. An additional essential aspect of gratitude is the notion of undeserved merit. When I am grateful, I recognize that I have no claim on the gift or benefit I received. It was freely bestowed out of compassion, generosity, or love. The theological term for this is grace. So we have another trio of terms that go together: grace, gratis, and gratitude. They flow into one another. Perceive grace and you will naturally feel gratitude. Grace is unearned. It is a free gift. If you believe in grace, you believe that there is a pattern of beneficence in the world that exists quite independently of your own striving and even your own existence. Unquote. Sister Cedar, thank you for your oxygen. Brother Salmon, thank you for your delicious nutrition. Gentle people, thank you for encouraging me. Thank you for your honesty and your trust. Now let's help each other strengthen our gratitude muscle. Every day, write down 3 things you are grateful for. Every day, write down to whom you are grateful. Let this be our prayer. May the year be kind to us. May the year be filled with unexpected gifts. May we consider our great fortune to be alive in this rare, short life. May everyone be grateful.
All right. Well, please join me in singing our last song of the day, Blue Boat Home. And thank you again to Francis for sharing the lyrics, sharing the slides with the lyrics. And please rise as you're willing and able. Still my dry land heart can
Okay, new skill. The Greening Tree. The Greening Tree Project is your opportunity to tell us your stories about what you have done that might be called climate action. Anything counts, as long as it is relatively recent. Stories can be about a minute long. We can do a couple of people a week, and you are encouraged to do more than one story over the course of the year. And I want to say that if you go to the website and look under, it's environmental justice. I can't remember what the, yeah. You can find all of the stories that are over on the tree with the first name of the person who did them. So that's kind of cool. And it's inspiring to go there. So does anyone wish to tell their story today? Please raise your electronic hand on Zoom or come to the mic near the tree, which is that one over there. Do you see anybody, Francis?
I haven't got anybody yet.
Quick.
Oh, yes, I do. Helen or Bob, I'm not sure which.
Well, it's Bob this time. Hear me okay?
Yeah.
We had a dramatic week. First of all, I smashed our ancient car into the
I said that last week.
side of our condo. But it wasn't a disaster. It was a great opportunity. We decided whether to live without a car for a year, or suddenly we decided to go and buy an electric. There's used ones on the lot and they look very, very suitable for us. So we're proud owners of a new Leaf.
Not new, 2017.
New to us. An old one, but just what we need.
We hope.
So we're on the Moral High Road now. Thank you.
Thank you, Bob and Helen.
Well, my leaf is quite a bit smaller than that one. I have for the last, couple of months been using bamboo toilet paper, which comes in a cardboard box. So I'm using no plastic and there are no trees being cut down so that those trees can stay there and absorb the carbon dioxide in the atmosphere. And it works. It's very good.
Thank you, Brenda. Is that it? Yeah, okay. You might feel like your leaf is just a tiny flutter of toilet paper in the wind, but it will help strengthen our tree, and in turn, our tree will help build a forest towards a just, safe world for all. Now that we are both online and in the hall, we welcome your donations and pledges in 3 different ways. First, we have set up the Unitarian Fellowship bank account to automatically deposit e-transfers sent to info@ufon.ca. Second, you can write a check and pop it in the mail. When did I last do that? Third, some people are doing it, which is awesome. Third, if you're in the hall, there is a basket in the back of the room where you can place your donation after the service. Our charity for the month is the Nanaimo Unitarian Shelter. If you would like to donate to the designated charity for the month, the shelter, please note that on your e-transfer sent to shelter donation, one word, @ufon.ca or on your check. We are grateful for your offering. We are nearing the end of our service. After we sing Carry the Flame, you have the opportunity to join a social group. There are breakout rooms available online for the next 30 minutes. In the hall, we will be setting up for snacks and social time. Thank you for your participation today. And the closing words are by John F. Kennedy. As we express our gratitude, we must never forget that the highest appreciation is not to utter words, but to live by them. Now we're going to extinguish the chalice with Karl's help. Easier than lighting it. When we take the fire from our chalice, it does not become less, it becomes more. And so we extinguish our chalice, but we take its light and warmth with us, multiplying their power by all of our lives and sharing it with the world. We'll now sing our final song, Carry the Flame. The words are on the wall in the hall and in the back too. Our custom is to stand and hold hands or touch elbows as you are comfortable.